Welcome back to On Deck with Florida Swim Network, and we are joined by the head swim coach, Mike Curley from Lake Highland Prep, and interesting year last year, my friend.
It was a very interesting year. First off, thank you very much for having me. But yeah, we had a very good year last year. Girls finished, I believe, 4th, just behind Sid's team. And the boy.
Well, let's talk about that girls' meet a minute, Mike, because Mike is one of the most respected coaches, as you both know, in the state of Florida. And I've watched him for the last decade, and every year you're going to see them at the state championships, boys and girls. One of the
Very
most
prepared
balanced teams. Always ready. The kids swim fast. They drop times. We certainly didn't deserve to be 3rd because it was a relay DQ right at the end of the meet.
Yes.
Of course, that's part of the meet. And I know, where we were, certainly, and both of us right behind Jay Fitzgerald, the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th teams. None of us were really ready to beat Bowles there, but, I mean, it's always a dogfight, and you guys are always at the top. Now, your girls, tell us about them. You had a great group last year.
We had a great group, and they were led by senior Katie Duggan. She's a signee with the University of Michigan, and she's swimming with us this summer and heads up there, I think, early September or something like that. But losing Kate is going to be a big, big deal. We do have some some girls that are going to take place and step up and hopefully take her place on relays. I don't know if anybody will be quite as great as she is in the 500 free, but it's not going to be for lack of training. I'll tell you that.
Olympic trial qualifier. I mean,
yep,
right.
She does Olympic trials, and hopefully, if she gets her mind right here at this weekend, she might make the 200 back in the 400 free as well.
but you got Abby and Carly, and I mean,
And you got a secret weapon, somebody coming in who was here last year.
Yeah, secret weapon, yeah. No, but Abby comes back, and she'll be a sophomore next year. We got Carly Lowe. She was the 200 IM state champion last year by a couple 100s. And we do have a young lady that sat out last year. Her name is Paige Hamilton, and she transferred from the Winter Park area. And she's 54.8 in the 100 fly last year, 23.4, 23.3 in the 50 free.
So let's talk a little bit about your girls' relay team. How is everybody looking for your relays? I know last year you had a pretty good year. For the women's, you ended up finishing 4th. So relay-wise, what are we looking for?
Gosh, our relays it's always really competitive, Everybody wants to be on the relays because normally they become All-American at the end of the year. If we swim well enough in the relays and Coach Curley doesn't do something silly on the relay card or something like that, then they end up getting medals as well, competing with Jay's team, competing with Bowles, and of course your team as well. But our relays should be really, really strong. Katie was a big horse on the relays, but I think Paige will step in the sprint relays and really help us out.
Well, one thing we know from South Florida, your relays will always be ready. Now, your boys' team, my gosh, last year, they were only a couple of points right out of that runner-up trophy?
2 points
Right.
out of second
Finished
place.
3rd.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. And you had a great year. I know you lost some, but you got it.
We lost a senior that's going to swim at Allegheny College, Matt Nardozzi, and we lost a senior going to George Washington and Josh Monticelli. And hopefully the younger kids, maybe even my son, who is a 9th grader next year, can help us out on the relays, Hayden. And Isaac Jacobs, who was an 8th grader last year, if he continues to grow and continues to, train the way he did this summer, doing a super job, I think Isaac will really help us out on the relays. But our boys' team's going to be really solid, probably led by Calvin Lillo. He'll be a senior this year. And Calvin will be a good leader for us, and I expect good things out of the 200 IM and 100 back out of him.
Looks like you've got a lot of senior leadership this year coming in. I think 3 of your top swimmers are coming in. They're going to be seniors. So you're probably going to have a good discipline there for leadership to help go into the season.
We do. There's another young man that just keeps quietly behind the scenes named Andrew DuPont. And Andrew goes away in the summer and works on their horse farm out in Lexington. But he continually just kind of shows up and eases into it. This March, he went 4:34 in the 500 freestyle.
Wow.
And he has never swum the 500 freestyle for us at the state meet.
Wow.
So maybe if I can continue to
working
push
with
a
those
little bit.
horses must strengthen him up a little bit.
Yeah, his mom's got him out there baling hay all the time. He's stronger than an ox.
We talked about that last week with Charlie Rose. Of course, he's from your area, in the Orlando area.
Sure.
And we talked a little bit about how swimmers needed a mental break now and then to just kind of get away. And when you look at the season that we've had, certainly all those crazy meets as you're going into, the first couple weeks of August, the middle of August, what do you do with those top line swimmers?
That's a great question. I think it really depends on the kids. And there's certain kids 2 or 3 years ago, the Sean Duggins of the world, Harrison Curley, Suzanne Bassier, you can give them 2 or 3 days and that's all they really needed. But I don't know if it's today's kids, today's parents, today's families, today's society. But now it seems like we need to give them a little bit more of a break so that they're fresh and ready to go. So when we finish our end of the year meet at the Futures meet, or Katie's going to San Antonio, we're going to give them 10 days off, and we won't start until our first day of school, which is August 12th.
Now, Coach, last year for your relay teams, your boys, 200 free and your 400 free, you ended up finishing third.
Yes.
What are your relays looking like for the boys this year?
Well, losing Josh is going to be a big deal. There was another young man on our team that was really a football player, got injured, and then started swimming with us about 2 years ago, Evan McDonough. And he kind of blossomed at the end of the year, was 21-2 on the relay and 46-6 on our 400 free. But we're hoping, as I said, that maybe our younger kids, Isaac Jacobs, Hayden Curley, you know, if we can get them able to do a pull-up or something like get a little stronger, you know, maybe we can get Hayden to break 22 seconds in the 50 free.
Well, speaking of your men's team and the strength that's involved, let's not forget, I always keep Dave on track with diving. You have a great diver, works right here in the big house.
She does. The big house welcomes Emma Whitner. She'll be, I believe, a junior next year.
And certainly you're at a benefit when you have somebody like that who can come through. Do you also get walk-on divers, kids that just are learning the sport?
Last year, a young lady started in the middle of the year, and she was a gymnast, sort of like the young lady Brittany Viola.
Oh, yeah.
Frank's daughter. We ended up making the Olympic team.
Oh, wow.
Where we
Another
found her,
hurricane.
We found,
Did pretty well.
We found her in PE class. You know, she's goofing off on the diving boards, and we were like, why don't you? That's how we found Brittany.
Oh my God.
But this young lady, last year in PE class, we were like, hey, maybe you should start diving. Okay, where do I learn how to do this? I used to be a gymnast. Why don't you go down, call Mark down at iDrive, made a phone call. She started diving. From what I hear, we might have 2 very good divers.